In this episode of the Horror Headquarters, that film will always be a part of my birthday tradition. Does anyone else feel like they need like a complete cleanse when their birthday rolls around? I mean, being this day falls in a February, you never know what's gonna happen, especially here in Michigan. Hello, Nightlings, and welcome to episode 11 of season 2 of the Horror Headquarters. As you guys may tell by the title, it is my birthday today. Now, obviously, I'm filming this a day before, but when you guys will be listening to this, it'll officially be my birthday here in the Midwest in North America. But I'm excited for today's episode. I have a couple of things to tell you. I mean, last year I kind of talked to you guys about my traditions. Now, many of those have changed, and I've also added some new traditions on that board. I am looking forward to watching some cool films on my birthday, because as you know, I always pick one specific horror film. Last year, I believe it was either Annabelle or The Nun. This year, you're going to find out what that film was in today's episode, as well as some fear I get from kind of aging. I mean, both the real life horror and then like some films that discuss this. So sit back, relax, and I hope you guys enjoy this one. For anyone just joining us for the first time, welcome. My name is Hassan Shamu. Yes, it is my birthday today. I'm not just making that up, but you guys are actually listening to a very special episode, so congrats on this being your first one. If you are returning, you will recall from last year, on February 5th, 2024, I discussed my traditions around my birthday, and that included watching Twitches, of course. That included watching horror films, as well as spending time with family. Now, that's not to say that I'm still not going to do this year. I mean, because Twitches, that film is always going to be a part of my birthday tradition. Even Halloween, like, I can watch it every single day for the rest of my life and notice something different about that film, notice something special that just makes me feel special. I just love that film in ways I can't explain. But some new traditions that I've done is now saging on my birthday, which I am planning on doing because I am feeling such a tremendous weight, especially as soon as February started, or I should even say at the beginning of this new year. I felt so much like stress and tension in my body, and it could be from a multitude of different things, but I really think it stems from my aging, because growing up we were always told to fear aging in a way, whether that was directly or indirectly. We're always told the older you get, the less like advantages you have, the less things that you can do, and I'm just really sick of that. I mean, if anyone's telling you that, then they've lived a miserable life, or they weren't able to do everything they wanted by the time they reached 65, which is the alleged retirement date, even though there's people that work well past 70. Regardless, there's a lot of fear that surrounds that aspect, and I kind of want to talk about my feelings this year, how I'm feeling about turning 24. It's kind of crazy, because a lot of people will say I'm unemployed, that I'm falling behind, that I'm not married yet. People bring up how they got married when they were 18 years old, and I'm like, bro, can you not? Everyone has their own path. But, you know, just everyone has their own things to do in life. Some people want to get married immediately, some people don't. They want to take time to spend money on themselves, and that's not being self-centered. If they want to travel the world like me, I got to visit London last year with my own hard-worked money, and that was actually a birthday gift for me, as well as a graduation gift for myself that I bought, and I really had the time of my life. It was so much fun. I learned a lot being in England, and going on this trip solo, like going out of the country for the first time by myself, I've learned so much about me, and I've like seen all these different people of different ages, and like I've seen people that are like 85 years old. I was introduced to this like 86-year-old guy on a bus going to Harry Potter World. He was walking perfectly fine, but I'm telling you, he did not look 86, and he said he's having the time of his life. He said he has an annual pass for this place. He like has done very well for himself growing up. He didn't start out that way. So just hearing these different stories from people, even on like the trains over there, the transit centers, I meet all these people in their 50s and 60s that have traveled the world and that aren't rich. You heard that correctly. They were not rich. And I'm just learning about this stuff. I'm like, wow, really? You don't have to be rich to travel. That's not to say you don't have to have money, but these experiences are priceless. That experience in London, in England, and going to all these different places, Greenwich, I got to visit a friend that I met online. These are all priceless experiences. And if you guys have the opportunity to travel, go, and don't let anyone tell you can't travel by yourself. Because growing up, I was told that if I'm gonna travel, I have to do it with someone, or you're not gonna have fun. Like even when I was going on this England trip, everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're gonna be so bored, and you're gonna do anything." I had the time of my life. I legit had the time of my life. Same thing with Orlando when I went to California, when I was traveling to Ohio, Illinois, all these different places by myself. I had a really good time, especially Salem. Are you kidding me? Me and Salem, everyone over there is my friend, so I don't know what you're talking about. Something that I do feel I am expanding a lot in is my tuition. Trusting my gut, knowing whether something is real or not real. Like, just, it's hitting me a lot more than I had anticipated. And I remember that click kind of happened when I was in my late teens. And I started to like trust myself more. I started to do things that I wanted without being forced to do anything if someone was telling me to do it. And I feel like with 24 coming around, I'm like, wow, it's been about 6, 7 years since I've really accepted my tuition, since I've started to believe in myself a lot more. And ever since I've like transcended, I mean, look at me. I got my film in a book. I got my own short film that people said was gonna fail, that was stupid, that it was a one-person cast. I got it in a book. In a book by Indie Rap. Some of the best short films are all in that book, and mine is included. The recent one that I released, Visions, it's receiving worldwide recognition. The same thing with Nightmare. I'm working on my third short film right now, solo. So no, there is nothing that is impossible. People tell you this to stop you from being successful because they were not successful, and I wish I could like instill this in every single person that listens to this podcast. Anything is possible, regardless of what other people say, or regardless of what your mind might tell you, whether that's something that's pre-created by society or something that was created by yourself, being like what you're surrounding yourself with. Anything is possible, and you can do anything that you want. And if things don't go as planned, that's alright, just go with the flow. This brings me to my next thing. For my birthday, like everyone's been asking me, what do you want to do? I'm like, I really don't want to do anything special. Like, I don't have anything pre-planned. I just want to enjoy the day best as I can. I want to be grateful for the people around me, for all the successes that I've had, and all the future successes that I plan to achieve. But a lot of people are like, no, you're supposed to like want to go somewhere. I'm like, no, I'm just like kind of a go with the flow person. Like if something comes up and I'm like, oh, we can do this, let's do that. And like if no one can, that's completely fine. And the reason I bring this up is due to the fact that a couple of days ago, I got a really good idea for my film because we had like this insane freeze over here in the Midwest. Everything was frozen. Like it rained and then it snowed and then there was a freeze overnight. It was literally an ice rink everywhere. The sidewalk, the street, it was insane. And I'm like, wow, this would really connect good with my short film that I'm working on right now. Can't say too much about it, but I'm like, this would be good. So the next day, I told myself, I'm like, I'm gonna go outside really early in the morning. I'm gonna get some good shots because I feel like all the ice and everything and this weather will really connect with the message I'm trying to get across with this film. The next day, I woke up, it was 47 degrees outside. 47 degrees outside. Everything had melted, and I looked out the window, I'm like, well, damn. That girl's that. So now I have to wait for if something like that happens again, but even though I'm upset, I look at it as maybe it just wasn't meant to be in the film. Maybe it just wasn't gonna go right. I mean, being as clumsy as I am, I probably would have slipped and broke my back. Knock on wood. Hopefully that never happens to me or anyone that's listening. But I just went with the flow. I said, okay, what can I do instead? So I did some interior scenes. So I said, let me write down some ideas for an indoor scene that I can do that it will help me kind of connect with everything else happening in the film. And I actually ended up getting some pretty good content. And I wrote like a new scene. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so good. And I like got all these new ideas. And I said, well, if that hadn't happened, if it wasn't 47 degrees outside and I had walking out and did the scene in the cold, if it wasn't 47 degrees, I wouldn't have thought of that scene. I wouldn't have been able to do all these new things that I thought of. So that just goes to show you, allow yourself to go with the flow. Don't be so hard on yourself. People are constantly going to try to push you down. And like, I get this episode is like not really about horror, but this is a real life horror. about how horrible society can be and how like scary everything can be in the world. But you just have to continue to move forward. Know what you want in this world, and if you don't, go and find it. Now, earlier in this episode, I said that this whole idea of aging, how scary it is to me in real life, but there's also so many films that portray this. I mean, the most recent one is The Substance. Aging, how that apparently like relinquishes you of new opportunity and you're not allowed to be successful and you've passed your golden era. That's not true. You are never past your prime, you guys. Never. Regardless of what people say, regardless of what Hollywood says, anyone. Just like I said, people that are past 65 years old are still working because they want to work. Some of them work because they need the money, some of them work because they love it. Another film, for example, Black Swan with Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis and Winona Ryder, all about aging, about people in their prime, people that are not in their prime, and they get fired for it. They want someone with a younger look, a younger, like, youthful look, and it destroys the person that's older. Like, you have all these pre-incentives that society has put into us, that has instilled into the world to make you think that you're less of a person as you grow older, when that couldn't be farther from the truth. And I know that's going to be a hard bone to crack per se, but I hope that you guys reach that stage where you're like, you know what, I'm 86 years old, I want to go bungee jumping. Like, you know what I mean though? Sort of shifting topics now, I will say my mom did surprise me with some flowers today. She really like lifted my spirits. I haven't really been doing the best lately. That's alright. Like I said, it's okay to not be okay. But she got me these flowers and I'm actually looking at them right now. So shout out to my mom. I love you very much and it just makes me excited for the future. As scary as it can be, I know that no matter what, I have achieved so much already and I can't wait to hopefully achieve more alongside people that support me as well as myself, because I gotta love myself through it all. So honestly, if I were to plan ahead, if I'm looking at tomorrow, I'm definitely gonna start the morning early. I'm gonna try to go to sleep a little bit earlier today as well, because I want to wake up tomorrow pretty early in the morning. I am thinking of watching either Twitches in the morning or afternoon and then finishing it at night, which is my tradition, because at the end of the film, if you guys have watched, they like do this special spell in the midst of darkness and then everything ends up okay. And then of course I'm gonna make the special birthday breakfast that Alex gets in the beginning of the film, which is strawberry yogurt, cereal, and candy corn. But instead of candy corn, I'm actually gonna replace it with some rice treats because I have not seen candy corn since I think December. So I like looked in the store. I think I went to like 4 different stores today. Could not find it, but it's okay. It's all right. But I am excited for that because like this uplifts my spirit. I'm gonna put a candle in there and sing myself happy birthday in the morning. Surprisingly, I am still debating what horror film it will be this year. I do think, if I'm trying to recall, I have to listen to my episode from last year. It's called A Horror Birthday if you guys want to go give that a listen. It's last year, season 1. I think I listened to either The Nun, The Conjuring, or Annabelle. I think it was one of those three that I watched, and I think for this year I'm kind of leaning towards more psychological horror, or possibly even maybe Insidious. We shall see. Or maybe, why not even a new horror film that has just released? Because they have been pretty good so far. I just have been a little bit hesitant because horror can be very subjective at times. Now, you guys are probably going to think I'm crazy, but something I've been really wanting to do so badly is the Barnes & Noble book birthday like challenge, where basically you have like 5 minutes to look and then 3 minutes. It's either 3 or 2 minutes to buy. So basically, go to Barnes & Noble with someone. They give you 5 minutes to look around, and then they give you 2 or 3 minutes to buy whatever books that you want. I want to do that challenge so badly, but I just know I'm going to spend over like $500 if I do that, which is scary because I have gotten a, I want to say unhealthy obsession, but I love books now all of a sudden. But this isn't something new. I think my love for books kind of reblossomed when I started going to college, but ever since I graduated, I've been obsessed with reading, and I especially love this book by Grady Hendrix. It's about vampires, and it's so cool. It's like basically Desperate Housewives combined with vampires. And I'm like, this is so interesting because I love drama. I love things that like always keep you hooked and interested. All these different horror things. Oh, it's so cool. And I think that book really got me back into reading because I think the reason I hated reading before is because I always found it to be dragging, and it just turns out I was reading the wrong authors and I was kind of in the wrong genre. But I feel like I've really found what clicks for me, and I'm excited to see what other books I start reading. I mean, there's so many that I'm looking at right now that I haven't even started because I'm currently reading Thornhedge by Thornfish, I think is the writer. It's a pen name because that's not the real person's name. The real person, she's a lady, but that book is so good. They actually talk. This is crazy to you guys. This is gonna be insane. There's a Muslim prince in it, a Muslim prince, and when I saw that and like they talk about the Quran, they talk about reading surahs and talking to imams, I'm like, what? What? I'm like, I have never read a book like this. Like, I love this representation, even though I don't think the author is Muslim or Arab, but I just think that's amazing representation for the Arab community, and it just really put a smile on my face. But yeah, I really want to do that challenge, so we'll see if I end up doing it. Maybe when I get a bigger bookshelf, I'll do it, but I just want to do it so badly, you guys. Also, fun fact if you guys are still listening, I released my first short film, which is Nightmare, on my birthday, February 5th, 2022. That was the day that my first short film released worldwide, and that's crazy. And I'm like looking at this little plaque my mom made me. That is 3 years ago. 3 years ago went by like, dang, man. Like, I want to start swearing so badly because, wow, it went really quickly. And, wow, I'm so happy I did that. And this is like very emotional, like sentimental episode. And I think it's because the reason I'm talking about aging, I'm talking about getting older and like reflecting on all my past experiences. I'm like still trying to wrap my head around the fact that I'm in a book. I'm literally in a book that you can buy. I am working on my own book, of course, or should I say books? That's another teaser that I probably will get in trouble for in the future because I teased it out this quickly. But I am working on mini books and obviously mini films. I'm not just working on one film, I'm working on multiple films. There's actually one I have slated for June. Oh, I'm so excited. It's either May or June. It's gonna begin. Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be a 2-person cast and I am so excited for it. Hopefully it works out. I'm excited for it and I just hope everything goes as planned. I feel like I'm just rambling at this moment, so I'm kind of gonna end the episode there. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for the insane support you guys have given me over the past year and a half for this podcast. I am forever grateful. I can't wait to continue growing with you guys. One more thing I want to say is I have gotten a machine that can make custom t-shirts. So that's in the works. No, I'm not saying it's going to be released anytime soon, but hopefully it will be very soon. I'm just trying to be in the process of figuring out how to use this machine. I have made some custom stickers that I placed around my room. Oh my gosh, you guys, there's just a lot coming, and it's all coming together finally, because I'm always saying a lot is coming, you guys. Keep in mind, like, all of this is in the works. It's coming together now. Like, it's all piecing together into this big puzzle, and I can't wait for you guys to see. I hope all of you guys have an amazing February 5th. Please make sure to like and follow us on Instagram at The Horror Headquarters, to rate us here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you guys may be listening. Please drop us a like, a follow, and rate us. For some reason, Apple Podcasts has removed about 25 of my reviews that I had on there, which is pretty upsetting because I had about 31 and now I have 4. I don't know what happened. It kind of aches my heart. So please, if you can, go leave a review on Apple Podcasts or here on Spotify. I would greatly appreciate it. It is absolutely free, just to hit that 5-star button and leave a little comment. But with that, I'm going to say goodnight, I'm going to say goodbye, and of course, tread very lightly and pray for forgiveness. Midnight hour is approaching, night very soon.